So Bitcoin is seeing a continuation here on Friday, and this is after it held this support for the last 3 days and continued to just bounce off this area, and now we're seeing a continuation up. So where does this leave Bitcoin in the larger time frame? So in the larger time frame, on the weekly time frame, we're ultimately looking for a continuation up to this higher end range, and then ultimately a breakout at some point to continue this uptrend that we have been in. Because it reclaimed this area on the last week's weekly close, this served as a false breakout. So usually false breakouts result in a move to the top of the range or the other side. So there's likely going to be a test of this area at some point. And this is actually interesting what's going on because the stock market is seeing a huge red weekly candle this week, while Bitcoin is seeing a green weekly candle. And as we've noted, Bitcoin has been lagging behind. If you look at the stock market, right? The stock market back in April was right here. Bitcoin was right here. And Bitcoin rolled over and it's below this area, while the stock market, the S&P 500, is way above. So there was a decorrelation between Bitcoin and the stock market, and it was Bitcoin not following the stock market up. And now we're seeing the stock market come down this week while Bitcoin is going up. So there is a difference of how the market's been moving. While the stock market had been moving up, Bitcoin was going down, and now that the stock market's going down, Bitcoin's going up. So I'm not sure if that'll be a long-lasting trend or that's just a temporary thing we've just been seeing over the past few months. And if you look at Ethereum also in the green, it ultimately needs to get past this level. The Ethereum ETF will be launching on Tuesday, so that should help. And it's also been reported that the Grayscale Ethereum ETF charge, or the fee, will be about 0.15%. I believe it said it will be actually the lowest. So it's not going to be like the Bitcoin ETF, where the Bitcoin ETF kind of saw a Grayscale sell-off due to the higher amount of fee compared to the other ETF products. This time around, Grayscale learned their lesson, and now there shouldn't be as huge of an incentive for people to sell their Grayscale Ethereum ETF into another ETF, because Grayscale is actually one of the more optimal ones. We might actually see the opposite, where we see flows into the Grayscale ETF because it does have the lowest fee. Apparently, that's what's being reported. So we'll see what happens. And with Bitcoin on the smaller time frame, it ultimately needs to get above this area of resistance around 67,000. It's around this area. So it's currently at around 66.5K. So 67.3K would be the area of resistance it needs to reclaim. And we're also seeing with the alts, this is the others. Others is everything but the top 10 coins. So it's more of like the lower cap alts. This is kind of like a interesting spot that it's in. So first off, it broke down and reclaimed this area, and now it's trying to get through this area. If it can get through this area, then I think it will likely see a push up to this 300 billion, which would be about a 25% gain, and this would be like a 25% gain probably across the board for most alts if this were to break out. This could be maybe an inverse head and shoulders kind of forming. Maybe it comes back down. It did come back down, but maybe it needs a little bit more time. Maybe it ends up breaking out here, but if this were to take place, then alts would see a sizable gain across the board, and this is the lower cap ones, not the ones in the top 10. So we'll continue to watch the market, and I always post my videos on YouTube first, so make sure to follow me on YouTube. It's in my Twitter bio. If you aren't following me, I post the videos there first, and if you're watching on YouTube and aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, and I'll continue to update this market as we head forward.